This one's wife. You ruined my favourite. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There follows a bit of a rant by somebody. And it's rather entertaining because it bursts the balloon of this one's wife with regard to her belief that she is the centre of attention. This rant is by somebody called Anna Dumerog, who writes at Screen Rant. She states, Suits Season 9 ruined my favourite character. Dear, oh dear. Poor Anna. I hope you're getting the support that you need as a consequence of that. It's clearly a devastating thing to take place in your life. She describes it as really disappointing. I dare say you're being very brave with such understatement. But who could it be? Who is her favourite character from Suits? And how did Season 9 ruin it? I mean, after all, she could only be writing about this one's wife. It must be her character, Rachel Zane, an individual who actually had not as much screen time as you would think, but of course embodied everything that this one's wife is: sassy, intelligent, brilliant, irresistible to men, snarky, lovable, empathetic. It must be the case that somehow Suits has done Rachel Zane dirty, and that the brilliant character created and acted by this one's wife. The writer didn't create the character, she did, remember. She was the one that truly breathed life into Rachel Zane. That must be the one that has been spoiled. After all, why on earth bother writing about anybody else? The other people were there just to make this one's wife look good. Let's march on. Aaron Korsh's legal drama found a new generation of fans when it arrived on Netflix in the summer of 2023. There have been so many discussions about the reason behind Suits' streaming domination 4 years after its original run on the USA Network wrapped up. Long before this belated fanfare for Harvey Specter and the rest of his cohorts at Pearson Hardman, I was already a big fan of the show. Well, good for you, Anna. Presumably because of this one's wife. After all, there wouldn't be any other reason to watch it, would there? I followed it almost weekly during its original broadcast. I can understand that, if only to ensure that you saw this one's wife as Rachel Zane. And even got myself DVDs of the series. Sensible move. Then you can pause and go back and watch her again and again and again. Despite my long-time love for the show, she writes, I was still surprised by its success when it landed on Netflix. Naturally, it also compelled me to do a rewatch of the whole series. Why not? Including its final season, which was just recently added to the said streaming service. Several years removed from the drama's initial run on USA Network, I formed new opinions about it. Not to mention questions about Korsh's next expansion show, Suits LA. Presumably you've got questions about that with regard to how this one's wife's going to appear in it and make it absolutely brilliant. More than anything, she continues, however, I'm frustrated with the way Suits Season 9 handled my favourite character from the series. Okay. Now she's probably going to get down into the meat of how they buggered things up in relation to this one's wife's character. While Suits Season 9 saw almost every original character doing better, I cannot say the same for Sarah Rafferty's Donna Paulson. What? What heresy is this? You mean you're not writing about this one's wife? You're not alarmed in relation to her, but it's about Sarah Rafferty's character? Goodness me. Surely this can't be right. Surely she's just warming up before getting into talking about this one's wife. Let's plough on and find out. That must surely be the case. The show started with her being Harvey's trusted and competent secretary. Despite her ranking at the law firm, Donna was never treated as someone beneath the lawyers at the organisation. I fully believe that Harvey wasn't going to be as effective if it wasn't for her. As she deserved, she was promoted as the company's COO, but despite her higher rank, which meant more power to make moves, she was severely underutilized in Suits Season 9. Well, yeah, the redhead, she's pretty hot, but come on, let's get past her. Let's get on to this one's wife. She's the main draw here, surely. Instead, Donna, still going on about Donna, okay, was reduced to barely doing anything, as Harvey and Louis Litt fought Faye Richardson. The majority of her role in Suits Season 9 revolved around throwing threats that never really materialized and arranging secret meetups for Harvey and Mike. Even though she wasn't a lawyer, Donna was smart, efficient, and ingenious. Yes, that's all very interesting, but when are you going to talk about this one's wife? But none of these qualities truly shone in the final 10 episodes of the legal show. Granted that she was able to recover Harvey's painting from Elliot Stemple, but in the grand scheme of things, she was almost useless during Pearson Hardman's final ordeal. Much has been said about Harvey and Mike being the backbone of the project. However, one of the more overlooked achievements of Suits was its female characters. Now we're going to get onto this one's wife, aren't we? Korsh did an amazing job writing empowered but not stereotyped women, especially at the start of the series. At the end of Suits, Donna was the only original female character in the show, so I was expecting that the series would give her more to do. Little did I know that I was going to be disappointed. And that's it. No, this one's wife. What? Surely any competent writer would be talking about this one's wife. After all, she was the star of the show, and the fact that she was number 6 on the call list was simply an error. It revolved around her. That's why most people knew about the show, wasn't it? Because of the existence of this one's wife in it. That's why nobody was surprised when she ensnared a prince, because she was a global phenomenon beforehand, and she was actually the more dominant individual in the relationship in terms of fame. Prince Harry, who's he? Said many people. Oh, this one's wife? Yes, known about her for years. She plays Rachel Zane in Suits, doesn't she? We've all watched that. You see, once again, the delusion of this one's wife is laid bare. That here, a fan of the show has released an article mere hours ago, and it's nothing to do with her. Despite the fact that this one's wife believed the show was all about her, that it was a global phenomenon, that lots of people watched it and knew about it, the reality is that was not the case. And yes, it has increased in popularity as of late, presumably as a consequence of the fact that she has to mention it repeatedly in every single article that she's referenced, that she had to introduce herself as the actress from Suits, prompting many people, as I've said before, to go, "What? You've worked in retail?" The fact is, this is another great demonstration of the delusion of this one's wife, whereby she believes that the world revolves around her and that she was the main character in Suits. And the actual fact is that an article about Suits doesn't have anything to do with her of substance. That she isn't involved. That she isn't written about, because ultimately she wasn't that important. That, of course, won't dent the delusion that operates for this one's wife. Her narcissism will continue to say that she is the important one. But it is an excellent lesson in understanding the way that this one's wife thinks she's important, and then reality comes along and demonstrates that she's not. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.